Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at a couple of ceramic spray sealants and detailers, sealant slash coating depending on which bottle you're looking at. The reason why we're looking at these is because these two products from Simoniz, which for my non-Canadian viewers is like the in-house brand that is sold at the popular store that you can buy detailing products. Not everything, but the Meguiar's, the Mother's, those types of brands. This is their house brand, and they typically aren't very good, but they're also not expensive. So these two caught my eye because they are cold weather formulas. The detailer, which is the bigger guy, is only supposed to be used between 0 to 15 degrees Celsius, not outside. So you can't use it in the summer according to the label. Well, look at that, but it is winter here right now, so I can't really simulate summer that well. I could heat the garage, but I'd rather just wait. But the reviews online are all very positive, but they're also all incentivized reviews, which I think means they got them for free. So I just saw them and I was like, I can't not buy this and try it. I was suckered in by the marketing, but I think it'll be a great video. And you'll see that they might be onto something. The coating, or wax, is only in a 16-ounce bottle, whereas this guy's a 750, just like the two Sonexes. And it's not cheap. It's about 28 bucks plus your local taxes. It's sort of tiptoeing into that premium price range where, you know, like some of the other boutique brands are in that $30 to $35 range. It's getting up there. So there's a little bit of expectation that this should perform. I've got it on a test panel. That panel is already cured for a week. I filmed the footage for the wash yesterday. I'm doing this today. But I also have it on the roof of my car, and I applied it in the cold temps. So it was about 17 degrees when I applied these to the test panels and the hood. The hood was polished and panel wiped with Veritas 5:1, I believe. I have application footage as well. One thing I want to note, I was intending to do this as a blind test between the two, but because Sonex's Hydrophobic is so clearly above everything else in the industry, or at the top, I've decided to not keep it blind. So the panels aren't labeled. They're labeled 1 and 2 with the temperature. But I'll just overlay on the screen which one's which. So we'll get into that. I also have some initial hydrophobics from the roof. So one half of the roof split down the middle of the car. The driver's side is the Simoniz and the passenger side is the Sonex, I believe. I may be wrong. I did this a week ago and I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen. So that's what we're gonna look at. The detailers have, oh, that's the coating. The detailers have not been used in this video. I'll use them in a long-term follow-up because this will be a long-term test. So we're just looking at these guys and we're not looking at any filling and jetting yet. That panel is being occupied by another test that's going on that I'm keeping secret, but it'll be good. We're just looking at these two for today. And then we'll top up with these down the road, real world, to see how they do. Because again, strict temperature range that it has to be used. So we'll see, can Sonex be used in the same temperatures? Does Sonex last as well in the same temperatures? How is their chemical resistance? That's what we're gonna check today. So let's get into it. Okay, so finally, Simoniz seems to have actually made a decent product. I tested out their earliest version of them ceramic infusing stuff, like one of my first videos on this channel. Don't watch it; it's very poorly done. But Cole's notes, they were terrible to use, and they performed as terrible as they were to use. They were miserable on and off. The hydrophobics were absolute bleh. And yeah, like the spray detailer, it was fine. That's easy to use, but it also barely added any hydrophobics to the paint. So if you're going to go around and do all that effort of a non-spray and rinse detailer, you might as well get something with at least some hydrophobics and a little bit of legs. So yeah, that's sort of my history with them. I've skipped all their other platinum ceramic and platinum graphene lines. But I know as a Canadian, every time I walk into that store, I see this brand and I'm like, I want you to be good, but you just never seem to be. And the incentivized reviews, again, they were all positive, and I was very concerned that, yeah, you got some for free, so you're happy, but they might actually be onto something. We'll have to see how it goes real world, but chemical resistance, this stuff is stout. Sonex has never been super strong in chemical resistance, in my experience. And again, chemical resistance means nothing, really. It's not the be-all, end-all of durability, but it is good to know that if you need to, especially during wintertime, if you need to use a high detergent wash, it should be able to withstand it okay, depending on how long it's been on the car and on some other factors. But, you know, like this, when I washed this, it was like 16, 17 degrees in here. It wasn't exactly hot. And I didn't heat the panel, I didn't heat any of the water, the brush, nothing. It's all cold, cold, cold. So doing okay. Doing okay so far, but we will see. We'll see how things pan out long term. But and yeah, the pricing on this, it is more expensive than Sonex, and it is smaller. So, and the application, which I don't think I got to in the first part, but you need to use 2 layers. 1 layer, wait an hour, and then a second layer, and then that layer needs to cure for 6 hours. I should have said that earlier, but I'm saying it now. So you will use it much faster, but you know, I currently have the problem of I have a bunch of products that I just don't use enough at all, mainly because I don't like half of them, but it saves you, I guess, on that. And then this being a detailer, wet or dry use as well, which is nice. Drying cars in the wet is a pain, or when it's cold, sorry, is a pain in the butt. Drying them when it's wet is impossible. So that's nice that you can use it as like a drying aid, as well as a topper. It will be looked at, you know, these will be looked at more in the future, maybe the very near future, but you know, looks like they kind of gauged the market, gauged the interest, and paid a little attention to what people are doing with the products. And as of right now, it's looking pretty good, but we are very early into the test. We are very early into real world. It's still holding up at this point after about a week. And it's been very cold and very wet. There's lots of road spray and stuff they've been salting. So we're hovering around the 2 to 3 degrees Celsius at low points. It's frosting over in the mornings. So yeah, it's going to be a proper winter test. We might get snow in the next month or two here. So we'll see. We'll see how it does. But so far, I'm pretty impressed. So far, it seems okay. It's expensive though, but you know, we'll see if it's worth the price. So anyway, that's it for this one. Lots more coming up, but see you next time.